All right, we are now recording.
Sounds great. All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's Mayor Manager meeting for Wednesday, January 14th. Online with me is Deputy City Clerk Adriana Prado, Executive Assistant Krista Gravy, City Manager Shawn Lewis, City Clerk Stephanie Carlisle, City Attorney Tamara Niles, and Deputy City Manager Tim Dodd. Shawn, do you want to kick us off?
Thank you, Mayor. We'll start with January 20th. We have the Utilities 2025 Annual Drinking Water Survey results, City Manager Emergency Declaration Authority, recognition of the Cities and Police Academy graduates, recognition of the holiday decorating winners, a resolution appointing council liaisons for boards and commissions, resolution for temporary construction easements on Old Hamden Complete Streets project, motion for CCPM contract renewal for landscape ground services for EVE. Motion for CCPM for snow and ice removal services. And motion for approval of a reopener for the 2025 tentative agreement between the City of Inglewood and the Inglewood Police Benefits Association. And moving on, still on the 20th, we have the same reopener of the agreement between the city and the Inglewood Employees Association. Motion for a contract between Allied Universal and the City of Inglewood. And then CB3 IGA with Littleton for bridge joint replacement. We have a question about consent there.
Say
This is
yes to an IGA. Yeah.
okay. Yeah, it's just a shared bridge there on our border. CB2 amending municipal code to increase theft jurisdictional limit in municipal court. CB8 mutual aid agreement between the City of Inglewood and Arapahoe County Board of Health to aid in disaster emergency planning and local dispersal. Thoughts on consent there? This is more on the public health emergency, large scale public health response.
I would say yes. Well, have we done this in the past, Shawn?
I don't know if we did this with Tri-County. Does anybody else know? Yeah, I'm not familiar with this,
Yeah,
but
yeah. Since it's emergency planning, it's probably good for us to leave it off of consent.
okay.
Reading more about it.
Okay. CB6 amendment to municipal code clarifying grant agreement municipal approval mechanism. CB7 Arapahoe County Adult Protective Services cooperative agreement for investigation of reports involving possible mistreatment of self-neglect at-risk adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities. What's on that one for consent?
Reading
Mayor,
it.
did you? Oh,
No, just reading up about it. Just reading the notes. I would say yes to that, but I could see that getting pulled.
okay. CB9 amendment to municipal code regarding maximum penalties to align with state law. And request to transfer loan funds from the sewer enterprise fund to the storm drainage fund. And that will go to water.
Yeah, note of that.
Okay. What was the vote on that for at water and sewer?
It passed, but it was a very long discussion. So I'll be speaking more about that on, I think it was the 9th that we have a discussion. So
Okay.
a lot
All
of
right.
concerns on that one.
Yeah. Next we have request to excuse me, that's the same one, a CB1 SIPA grant acceptance. And just for the information, the state did accept a lot of those changes that council wanted on that. All right, moving on. Nope, still on the 20th. CB4 District 1 vacancy special election, and then attorney-client privilege executive session for legal updates.
Mayor, because of Deputy City Attorney McDermott gave me a heads up on how long that discussion was last night. And she suggested we may want to look at moving some things off of this agenda just because she anticipates that discussion is going to take some time. So I can certainly move this executive session to the first meeting in February if that would be your preference.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be there for the first week of February, unfortunately. So, but yeah, that we probably had to just think about in terms of just having quorum, I guess in that case. I'm fine with
Right.
that, but yeah, I was gonna make a statement that we probably need to look to see if there's any items here that we can push to February, because I expect that to be a very long conversation.
Or I could move this executive session also to the second meeting in February. There's nothing that's extremely time sensitive. There was one issue that council and I had already discussed, and I can just send an email about it in my monthly report that I'll send out tomorrow.
Okay, sounds good. We still need to have that in February, though. I would agree. So,
I'll move it then.
All right, ready to move on to January 23rd. We have the city council retreat, and that's the 23rd and the evening of the 23rd and all day on the 24th. On January 26th, we're canceled that study session. February 2nd, building and fire code adoption for 2024. Discussion on accessory dwelling units and Title 16 language. 2026 bulk fuel and fluids contract. CB10 Municipal Code Cleanup Project, Title II Boards and Commissions. And then February the 9th, Code Compliance Reorganization.
can we go back
Okay.
to the second? I just wanted to look at those items because it's so much shorter than on the 20th, but okay. All right. Sounds good.
February 9th, we have the Code Compliance Reorganization discussion, Neighborhood Traffic Calming Project Program Project Update, Vision Zero Outreach Planning, South Broadway Revitalization Phase 2. And then February 16th is recognition of the procurement team. Let's see. So that's the only item on that one, Andrina?
That's correct. We don't have a whole lot quite yet scheduled for February.
Okay. And then February 17th. Okay, so we have back-to-back nights? Okay.
So
Except for,
that's President's Day
Sorry,
there. So
that
it's the
might
17th is
be-
the actual day. Yeah.
Sorry, that's
Okay.
that's my bad. I'll fix that.
It was probably entered by, we probably didn't enter that correctly, but yeah, since President's Day, we'll be meeting on Tuesday. So for the 17th, we'll have that recognition. We'll also have council policies, review potential updates, study session to receive council direction on proposed strategic plan outcomes, goals, community prioritization and structure. Amendment 2 to the Community Development Block Grant Agreement between Arapahoe County and the City of Inglewood. Approval of the 2026 IGA between RTD and the city for the Inglewood Shuttle. February 23rd, we have the Chronic Nuisance Abatement Ordinance. January 2026 General Fund Monthly Financial Report. City's petitioning process. Non-conforming commercial uses and residential zone districts. First right of refusal. Preliminary 2027 capital request review joint meeting with council, planning and zoning, budget advisory committee. Do you want to keep going, Mayor?
Yeah, there's one item, I'm trying to see where it's at. It was on the item that we wanted to speak to, Shawn, about the changes that have occurred internally that included
Yeah.
code enforcement. Where is that? I thought I saw it on.
Yeah, it's on the first of the list. Is that the first meeting in February? Yeah, code compliance
Oh, so
discussion.
it was there. Okay, yeah, because I have it on the 9th, but then I didn't see it there. Okay, so yeah, so not only the code enforcement, but obviously with the changes to storm drainage, we want to make sure that that gets covered as part of this session. And any other changes that occurred in October. So not just not just code compliance, Shawn.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Make sure that's
Um,
added.
Yeah, but I'm good with just stopping there.
Okay. And then y'all had board and commissions this week, so we don't have any council requests that were given at a meeting.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. Anything else from staff?
Did we want to look at moving any items from the January 20th meeting?
I just leave it to you and staff to see if there's anything that can get pushed because I'm expecting that item to take quite a while.
Okay,
Mayor, I did reach out to Director Rochelle after last night's discussion. Deputy City Attorney McDermott suggested that his attendance may be helpful to facilitate some of the discussion based on the questions last night.
Yep.
So I did give him a heads up that to watch that video and to plan to attend the meeting on Monday or Tuesday.
Mhm.
Also, I understand at the board and commission interviews last night, there was a question as to whether the number of members of ETAC should be expanded. And I am bringing that board and commission municipal code change forward. It's currently scheduled for the second meeting in February, or I'm sorry, the first meeting in February. I could amend it to say that ETAC shall have a minimum of 5 members, which is current. And then I could expand it to give you the option to appoint additional members up to a certain number. Would you like for me to go ahead and insert that into the ordinance?
Please, it seemed like there was, at the very least, yeah, let's have that language ready and then we can discuss it during that first meeting in February. Thank you for that, Tamara.
I'll add some language that's something like an optional amendment or something like that and put it in caps and brackets to facilitate that discussion.
Okay. Sounds great.
Okay. That's all I had.
All right. Thank you so much. All
I
right.
did
Anything?
wanna-
Oh, yeah, go ahead,
I
Andrina.
did want to bring up, since we don't have a meeting on January 26th, would you like us to cancel the meeting for next week for the mayor manager meeting?
Let's keep it on for now just because yeah, let's keep it on for now and then we'll see how we are after Tuesday.
Okay,
Thank you so much, Andrina, for pointing that out. All right, anything else from staff? All right, I don't see Joe. So with that, everyone, that concludes today's mayor manager meeting. Everyone have a great day.
You too.
You too.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
thank you.
All right, bye-bye.